So here we're going to solve equations using the balance method. So our first equation is x plus 5 is equal to 9. Think about what you need to do to get the x on its own. The x has a 5 added to it. If we could remove this 5, then we'd have x on its own. Always show, when you're starting to do this process, what you're doing explicitly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 5 from this side. That means on this side I have to do the same because we're treating it like a balance. So if I remove 5 from this side, I have to remove 5 from this side. So on this side I'm left with the x, and on the right I get 9 take away 5, which is 4. Here I've got x take away 5 is equal to 9. So I need to do the opposite if I want to get rid of the 5. So that's a minus 5 at the moment. I need to add 5. Again, show yourself doing that explicitly. Add the 5 to this side. If we've added 5 to that side, to the left, we have to add 5 to the right. So we've done the same thing on both sides. We know that the point of doing that was that gave us x on this side, and 9 plus 5 is 14. So here we have 5x equals 40, and remember that means 5 times x equals 40. What's the opposite of multiplying by 5? That means we need to divide by 5. So if we divide the left by 5, we have to do the same to the right. Now the whole point of doing this was it leaves us with just x on the left. 40 divided by 5 is 8. This one I have x divided by negative 3 equals 7. What's the opposite of dividing by negative 3? The opposite of dividing by negative 3 is to multiply by negative 3. And if I do that to the left, then I have to do that to the right. So that's left me with x on the left of the equation. 7 times negative 3 is negative 21. So it's this process of always doing the same to both sides. Now this one requires more than one step. Now it's always a good idea to think about what's happened on this side. If we started with x, the first thing that's happened to the x is it gets multiplied by 5. The next thing that happens is that we add 7 to it. So what's the reverse process? So we'd have to subtract 7 and then divide by 5. So 5x plus 7, then we're going to subtract 7. That's going to be 27, and we have to do the same to this side. So we've subtracted 7 from both sides. That leaves me with 5x on the left and 20 on the right. Then we have to do the next thing, which is divide by 5. So 5x needs to be divided by 5, and do the same to the other side, and that gives me x equals 4